Hello and welcome to Tarot with Tanya. This is 7 cards for 7 days, and we are looking at the week that begins Monday, April 29th and goes to Sunday, May 5th. So thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate that. Welcome if you're new, and welcome back if you've been here before. So I'll start with some of the astrology for the week. Probably the biggest news is Pluto turning retrograde. And then we'll talk about the cards and their story for the week, and then we'll end with oracle card from the Tree Keeper's Oracle. And I really like that one, and I'm happy to share that deck with you. So we start our week with the moon in Capricorn. And then by next Sunday, we'll have the moon in Aries. So we start from this very structured, practical, earthy kind of energy, good with business, good at getting things done. And then moving to Aries, which is well known for initiating things, taking action, courage, determination, things like that. So on Monday, we're starting also with Venus entering Taurus. So that can be very sensual. It's really good for gardening, self-care, things related to beauty, and could be the start of a peaceful or the continuation of a peaceful romance. Venus rules Taurus, is very happy there. Then on Tuesday, we have her partner, Mars, entering Aries. So that's his natural home too. So at the same time, we have Venus square Pluto. So first with the Aries natives will be favored. Or if you have an Aries rising, Aries moon, this will be good for you. So, as I mentioned before, associated with Aries is courage. It's a very dynamic energy, and that's all wonderful. The harder part of that day is the Venus square, the Pluto, because the squares are very tense typically. So that could cause some social difficulty, just some awkwardness that day. Then on Thursday is when Pluto turns retrograde. So it has only moved slightly into Aquarius. It's a very slow moving planet, and it will end up going back into Capricorn just a little bit. I think this lasts about 5.5 months. So it will cover the time of the election when it's in its shadow period. I'll talk more about that as the time gets closer. But when it does turn retrograde, it gives a chance for corruption to be exposed. Same for mass manipulation. I have to say that made me think of the whole AI, the dark side of that. There's a light side too. That can be leading us, though, to transformation. So as these things are exposed on this larger social level, even global level, it can transform things. It can purify things. And on the more personal level, it might bring up old wounds, jealousy, control. All of those things might surface for healing. So in that sense, you know, Pluto is very transformative. And when it goes retrograde, it's kind of like backing up and giving us another chance to double down on the purification, the transformation, and of course seeing what needs to be transformed and purified. And then finally on Friday, we have Mars sextile Pluto, and that's a good flowing energy. So it can encourage us to discard, to get rid of the non-essential, to hold to our convictions. It's got all that energy of Mars, all that transformational. stuff that goes along with Pluto, so you want to make constructive changes. So it can be passionate and transformative as well. All right, then the cards for this week. What story do they tell us? Well, we have a couple of majors, and we end with a pretty warmed up weekend here, kind of on fire. And we start off in a bit more earthy way, and then there's some water along our journey too. So I believe this was the card that began last week, this Page of Pentacles, and I'm using the Crow deck. And the pages bring information, news coming in, some kind of change, and when it's a pentacle or an earth that you might know as disc kind of energy, then it will be something tangible, something real, something material. So that's our Monday, and that's when the Venus enters Taurus too, so that helps support that very earthy energy. And then on Tuesday, it could be a little more confusing. We move into the water element. And this card is just, I don't know, there are some cards that very much need to be really looked at in the context. I mean, they stand for certain things, but yet I think what's around them is so important. So we get that earthy kind of transformative news on Monday, and then Tuesday, maybe it's like, well, I'm not sure what to do with this. What dream do I actually pursue here? So that can feel like a bit of cloudiness, a little bit of confusion and so forth, but just hang in there with that. Sevens are all connected to the Chariot. So to me, I typically read the Chariot as preparing to move forward. Not necessarily that you're ready to go there yet, but clearing up some confusion on Tuesday could be helpful with that move forward. We return to the earthy element on Wednesday with the King of Pentacles. Sometimes this is called the slow one. Earth is like Capricorn is an earth sign, and it's a very deliberate kind of energy. Same with Taurus and Virgo, structure again. So this person is very good at getting things done in a slow and methodical way. So this could be you, your own energy. It could be an energy around you. So use it wisely, of course. Try not to feel stuck, but to, I could see, I have to say, this is just coming to me intuitively, that with that Pluto turning retrograde the next day, that there could be a kind of like, oh, okay, it's heading back toward Capricorn, toward the materialism and so forth. And what do I do with that kind of energy? Well, this is a master, so the kings are, masters of that kind of energy. So it could be really good day for structuring things, being material, seeing to your material self, or, connecting with somebody who's good with that. And then Thursday, that day that Pluto turns retrograde. Strength. We may need that strength. It may come up in us naturally. There is an aspect to this card. So you've got that, that symbol above the lion's head here, which looks like a number 8 or an infinity sign, and it has to do with that flowing of energy, of course. And the thing with the Strength card is that we all have our inner demons, our challenges. And with the Strength card, frequently, this one's a little bit different, but you will see like a multi-headed beast, often with a feminine figure riding it. Here we don't have that. We have our crow kind of off to the side, flowers actually around our lion, who doesn't look terribly scary, but very robust, strong, and we want to integrate the shadow self. What are qualities that we have, traits that we have that we are not really comfortable with, and can we draw them forward and make a more whole self, which makes us stronger. And again, Pluto's going to bring up that shadow stuff. So, you know, try to see the positive side of it. Be forgiving of the self and be honest with the self as well. Well, maybe from that hard work, we get a lovely Friday evening with the 9 of Cups. So earlier in the week, we had the 7. So it's been earth, it's been water. So very feminine elements, which fits so well with it being Taurus season now and Venus moving into Taurus. And I've seen this card called Happiness. Sometimes it's associated with like a kind of jolly thief or something like that. But I think this one, I mean, you look at all those cups, you know, you've got this wonderful abundance of food for our crow, who doesn't seem too concerned about it, is looking toward the sun here. It's, you know, sort of a sunflower, but it's the sun too. And just feeling good about stuff, emotionally, internally quite happy. So that's really nice for our Friday evening. And the 9s are all associated with the Hermit, are sometimes known as the Crone. So with that, there could be introspection as well. What makes us happy? With whom do we want to share our happiness? Questions like that. And then our weekend finally, and this is where I mentioned it gets pretty fiery. So we start that Saturday with the Queen of Wands. And here we have a pair of lions, and our queen holding her wand, sitting above. And again, the sun in the background to show that radiance, that fiery nature. This queen is one who doesn't want to forget the hardships she's gone through. I mean, fire is instinctual versus intuitive. So the instinct, like the hair raises on the back of the neck, you know what to do just because you know suddenly what to do, things like that. It can be a fiery tongue. It can be saying things hastily, but generally she has a very good grip on where she's been and, you know, very good at self-assessment and seeing what the journey has been and not forgetting that she struggled to get to the place that she's in, just because, you know, it's planet Earth, we're on Earth school, and we're all going to go through our trials and tribulations, and she has come out stronger than ever for those. And then we end our week with the cards, our Sunday with the Sun. What a wonderful card. It's a very happy card. It's full of good energy. It's got that beautiful, beautiful kind of, again, sunflower, sunburst imagery in the background. And our crow that's riding the white horse. It's not really, at least I don't think it's a unicorn. No, I think those are just ears. But it's a beautiful white horse, and the crow is carrying this wonderful sort of red sash or scarf here too. So just burst of good energy, feeling very radiant, feeling very positive, seeing the world in that kind of positive light. So for the week, we ended up with 2 pentacles, we ended up with 2 cups, and we ended up with 2 majors. And so there is an element for the week of kind of balancing things out. Keeping on an even keel as best we can. And when Pluto's involved, that can be challenging, especially that part about Mars being there too. All right, so now we will end with one of the cards from the Tree Keeper's Oracle. And what popped up for us today is the Keeper of Self-Love. I'm sorry, I'm trying to find that sweet spot between getting it close and not having a glare so you can see. And if you can zoom in on these cards, I highly recommend it because they're full of beautiful little images hidden in there. So, Keeper of Self-Love. Many of us forget to include ourselves in acts of loving kindness. Human beings are hardwired for both love and struggle. One of the best ways to practice resilience between the two is through self-compassion. This moment asks you to focus all the patience, support, and love you keep giving everyone else onto yourself. Put your arms around your inner self with all the gentleness you can muster. Consider this: you are the only you in the entire universe. You deserve to experience love from the inside out, independent of what the world offers or takes away. Nothing can change your inherent value. It's golden. Treasure it with kind thoughts. And I just love that. I haven't come across a card in this deck yet that didn't speak to me deeply, but that one feels really, really appropriate for the week, given the whole Venus and Pluto and Mars dance that's going on. And beloveds, I wish you the best week possible. Again, thank you so much for being here. And please, if you like this, give it a like and consider sharing and subscribing if you haven't already. And if you're interested or in need of a personal reading, I hope you can do that. I do think they're extremely helpful, and there'll be information at the end of the video and in the description box below. Otherwise, I'll see you next week.